It's the 1920s. If a woman lights a cigarette in public, she risks being mocked, shamed, even arrested. But within just a few years, something shifts. Suddenly, elegant women are smoking on street corners, in films, at parties, as if it's glamorous, empowering, normal. What changed? A hidden tactic crafted by one man using a nasty psychological trick. And all it took was one word. At the time, women in America were climbing out of centuries of suppression. They'd just won the right to vote. They were joining the workforce. But society still clung to quiet, invisible rules, especially about how women should behave in public. And smoking, that was strictly a man's habit. For tobacco companies, this was a problem. Half the population wasn't buying their product, so they turned to Edward Bernays. Not a doctor, not a scientist, just a man who understood one dangerous thing. You don't need to change reality, you just need to change the story. Bernays wasn't just any marketer, he was Sigmund Freud's nephew. And he took his uncle's theories about the unconscious mind, repression, desire, identity, and used them not to heal, but to sell. He called it public relations. But really, it was propaganda dressed up in a tuxedo. He knew that people don't act logically. They act emotionally and then justify it with logic afterward. So instead of trying to convince women that smoking was okay, he made it a symbol of something they already craved, freedom. And he followed a four-step formula to make it happen. In 1929, Bernays staged what looked like a spontaneous feminist protest. He hired a group of stylish, socially connected women to join the Easter Sunday parade in New York. In their handbags, hidden cigarettes. At a prearranged signal, the women lit up in unison. Cameras flashed. The press went wild. But the real spark came from the phrase Bernays gave them, torches of freedom. Suddenly, cigarettes weren't a product. They were a protest, a statement, a right. That phrase, just 3 words, hacked the unconscious desire for liberation, belonging, identity. And sales exploded. This wasn't random. Bernays followed a formula, a 4-step blueprint for psychological manipulation. Uncover the emotional trigger. He knew women didn't want cigarettes. They wanted freedom, equality, visibility. He didn't sell the product, he sold the feeling. Reframe the product as the emotional solution. A cigarette wasn't just tobacco, it became a symbol, a tiny rebellion in the palm of your hand. Stage a believable social moment. He didn't run ads, he planted an event. Real women, real protest, real photos. But it was all orchestrated. Feed it to the media like a juicy secret. He gave journalists a headline they couldn't resist, torches of freedom. And once it hit the papers, the public took it from there. What made it so powerful was this. People believed they were making their own choices. But those choices were engineered in advance. And that's the scariest part. Bernays went on to shape everything from politics to food to fashion. He convinced Americans that bacon was the all-American breakfast. He helped overthrow foreign governments using staged news stories. He advised companies on how to build desire, not based on need, but on image. Every time you see a celebrity holding a product or a brand tied to a social cause or a trend that seems to pop out of nowhere, you're watching echoes of Bernays' original trick. Cigarettes were never torches, but manipulation, that's the flame that's still burning. Subscribe for more content like this.